Hi guys, so today we're going to go over basic investing and basically the different methods that you can utilize for investing, kind of comparing, what's good, what's bad, and also more in-depth investing. In later videos, I'll explain how these different methods work, I'll answer questions, we'll get deeper into the different types. Right now I just kind of want to do an overview of different ways of investing that I've found. So anyway, without further ado, let's begin. Now first we're going to go over bad investments. Bad investing includes bank accounts. A lot of people think if they put their money in the bank they can make money on it. No, I mean your money's safe there, but really you're only making 1 or 2% ROI per year. Which if broken down, let's just take an example of say $1,000. 1% of $1,000 in a year, guys, is $10. So I don't really think that's that much money. You're not really, we're going to get deeper in, but there's other methods that are just as safe, just as secure, and can increase your profitability 10-fold, 20-fold, even 30-fold. And we'll show those on later slides. Another thing with bad investing would be buying watches, cars for the purpose of investment, flashy materials, clothing, things like that, guys. These things are fun, but it's really extremely difficult to make money on them. The car companies, the watch companies, etc. have already figured out that game. They're already making money on it. I mean, if you can figure it out, more power to you. But most of these companies have their products set up in a lockhold where the company owners are really the only people making the money. Now, good investments. Good investments include the S&P 500 market average. What this is Standard & Poor. It's a stock investment company. They pick out 500 average companies continually, and they track them on in just a portfolio. So it's essentially an average of 50 different companies on the stock market and their return. And it's a really good way to compare if you're doing your own investing or your own types of portfolios, how well you're doing, because it's essentially an average of the entire stock market. Without trying to win, without just doing the same as everyone else, it's the average that people are making on the market, win or lose. Usually this fluctuates between about 10 and 12%. So again, guys, think back on the bank rate. Bank rate's 1 or 2%. This is 10 or 12. You've already increased your investment 10 times by simply just buying a average or trust fund portfolio on the market and just holding until you need your money. Now the next one, and this is kind of a similar vein, is Vanguard trust funds. What these are like the S&P 500, but this company Vanguard has broken down the market into different market sectors. They even have trust funds for China, Asia, other countries like that as well. And they essentially just do the same as the S&P 500. They build trust funds, but they do it specifically focused on a category or a geographical location. So these are pretty good to invest into if you just want to get your feet wet in the market. You don't really know what companies to put into, because you're essentially buying a portfolio balanced by a professional that will continually be rebalanced and usually makes averages returns of 20 to 30%. So again, compared to the bank rate, it's about 20 or 30 times. Now, another good investment is an REIT, or a real estate investment trust. And what that is essentially you put your money into a company or a stock, and this company goes and they buy office complexes, they buy apartments, they buy hospitals, they buy tons of property, and they make people pay rent or utilize the properties, and the profit that they make off the properties is what goes back into the stock and what returns back to you. So a real estate investment trust is a really good way to make a stable income. These can vary wildly. I've seen real estate investment trusts anywhere from, 3, 4, 5% all the way to 50, 60%. So I mean, depending on where you go and what you play, these can really vary. I'd recommend, if you do this, to diversify into multiple companies, and that way, if one company starts doing something funny or whatnot, you got the others backing you up and supporting you. The last good investment I'm going to talk about right now is microloans. The best example of this is Lending Club. And what these are, essentially, through a third party, you give them your money, and then you pick the different borrowers that are on there that are looking for your money, and you pick out who you want, and you essentially just loan your money to them. And then in exchange for you loaning your money to that individual, they have to pay you back a return because they're using your money. And this usually varies anywhere from 15 to 30. The ones that are lower are more likely to be paid back. The ones that are higher, around the 30 range, there's a likelihood, not a likelihood, but there's a possibility that they could simply not pay. So I mean, that's kind of the risk you take with those. But I mean, guys, if you stay right around 10, 15, even 18, 20% with microloans, there's really no problem. You're constantly going to be getting returns on your money at that rate. It's a great, balanced, good investment. Now, guys, the next thing I'm going to talk about is advanced investing. What this includes is balancing individual stocks. Now, this can be really risky. However, if you balance it correctly, you can minimize your risk and increase your investment. And we'll get deeper into how you can do this later. But for now, if you don't if you don't really get it, just stick to trust funds, things like that. They're a lot safer. You have an expert balancing it with you. But again, guys, we're gonna get into this in later videos. I'll explain kind of how to start doing that, what to do, and different books, research, media you can read to help you with all of that. The next thing is Amazon/eBay arbitrage. Now, what this is buying a product wherever, Goodwill, Amazon, eBay, and then reselling that product on Amazon or eBay for more than what you paid for it initially. This can be a really good way to make money. However, you have to be aware it takes some startup cost. You're going to have inventory sitting around for a while, and some things just might not sell for longer than you think. But bottom line is, once you sell it, you might double, you might triple your money. If you're buying good products, this is a really good way because Amazon does all the work for you. You ship it all to their warehouse, they ship it to the client, charge you a fee or something, and that's that. So really all you gotta do is just find some products you can flip that people care about, and you're good to go. The last thing is starting a business. Now, this can be really risky, really time consuming. However, it can also be extremely rewarding. If you start your own business, you're gonna spend hours putting time and money and energy into it. But at the end of the day, you control what you do. You make your own money. You know what I mean? And you work when you feel like it. It's very rewarding, very good investment. And it just takes a lot of thought, a lot of time to get it going. But if you have the drive, I'd say it's worthwhile. We'll talk about this more in later videos too. Now this is a chart comparing the return on the S&P 500 versus a bank CD. Now the red is your bank CD. The red's the average return on that. This is saying if you put $10,000 into a bank CD, on average it's going to take you 107 years before you've returned about $20,000, twice your money back. Whereas if you'd simply put that into the S&P 500 stock market average, within 3 years you have that exact same money, guys. This is totally legitimate. I mean, it's not beating the market, it's just keeping up with it. And if you can just keep up with the market, you'll make as much money as you'll make from your CD in 107 years in 3 years. Guys, that's crazy. Just think about this for a sec. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. Comment with any questions, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let me know what you guys want to see in later videos. Let me know what you're curious about. Let me know how I can help with anything. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.